It is Kieran Trippier. It is delicious! Glorious! Glorious!
Walker in there too. Luke Shaw! Harry Kane wants it played into him. He chooses Grealish instead. It's Grealish. It's Kane! Nothing like this has happened for a long time. Here's the overhead kick from Dyer. Palmer finds Watkins. Watkins turns! Watkins scores!
Hello, and welcome back to the Gate 102 podcast. I hope I find you well. Thank you for tuning in. It really is always hugely appreciated. In my last episode, I spoke about England's Nations League semi-final exit against the Netherlands, where we just fell short after extra time, and that loss meant that England would go on to face Switzerland in a third-place playoff game, and that's the game I'll be covering today. But before I go into the game, a reminder that all our episodes are available wherever you get your podcasts, if you want to catch up on some, or even listen to them back. So just quickly recap, Portugal beat Switzerland in the other semi-final, thanks to a Ronaldo hat-trick, and that set up the final between Portugal and the Netherlands, and that left England with one more game to play, and a slightly strange one in terms of atmosphere. You know, a third-place playoff, it's not quite a friendly, but not quite a major competitive fixture either. But still a game to win, and an opportunity to take the bronze medal home. Now let's talk about our team. Jordan Pickford kept his place in goal. I think some people are expecting someone else to be given a chance, as it's, like I say, a friendly game, really. But Pickford remained between the sticks. The back four had a few changes. Trent Alexander-Arnold came in at right back. Joe Gomez came in at centre half, partnering Harry Maguire and Danny Rose at left back, and that makes up the back four. And no John Stones for this game. The midfield was a strange one. So you had Eric Dyer alongside Fabian Delph as like the defensive two. Raheem Sterling played on the left. Dele Alli played as the number 10. And then you had Jesse Lingard on the right, but having watched the game back, it was practically Lingard drifting inside and Alexander-Arnold overlapping on the outside. So while technically Lingard started on the right, he was practically a number 10, really. And then obviously Harry Kane up front. And Kane starts this time after he came off the bench in the semi-final. So quite a bit of rotation, but still a strong side on paper. I think Southgate seemed to strike that balance between giving players minutes and opportunities and still going for the win. But I think this is always going to be a tough game for England. Switzerland were a good team. They did well in 2018 World Cup. It was actually the second time England had played them in a season. Don't know if you remember, but we played them back in September, earlier on in the campaign, and won 1-0. Marcus Rashford scored. It was held at the King Power Stadium. So, and part of me was a bit worried because we had to play extra time in our semi-final, whereas Switzerland didn't. So I was worried, will we be more fatigued, more tired than they were? So yeah, it was a game that it was hard to predict the outcome, really. But if I'm honest, sometimes these third place playoff games can be a bit of a slow burner and a bit of a non-event. But England came out the box flying. It was a great start. First minute of the game, Harry Kane hits the crossbar. So close to opening the scoring. In fact, I think the goalkeeper got a fingertip on the shot. But already, England had a good opening, and that was good to see. I mean, the intensity wasn't great from either team, but that's expected. Not only was it really hot, but it was the last game of the season for both teams, so it's never going to be an end-to-end encounter, really, for 90 minutes. But England were definitely the better team, more controlling in possession, and definitely playing with more freedom. About 15 minutes in, Raheem Sterling had a golden opportunity, really. Should have scored, to be honest. That said, it was a brilliant save from the Switzerland goalkeeper, who was definitely their best player. But I think that tells you a lot about the game, the fact that he was their best player. but Kane with a lovely through ball, and Sterling was then 1-on-1, but I think he had more time than he realised, but he sort of had the shot and put it straight at the goalkeeper, and yeah, still a good save though. But England were the better team in the first half, but by a long way, but just didn't take the chances. And in games like this, where it can become a bit cagier, a bit scrappy, games like this, you've got to take chances when they come. I mean, Switzerland weren't really offering too much threat going forward, but yeah, England were definitely the side in control. You just couldn't find that finishing touch. I love the system we were playing, though. You basically had Sterling, Ali and Lingard just given free roles, and it made it really fluid, and it allowed these players to basically go wherever they wanted to and express themselves. Lots of rotations in attack, lots of movement off Kane. It was great to see, and I think that it worked really well, especially Lingard drifting inside and Trent overlapping. I thought it worked really well. Well, that was the first half, and the second half was a similar pattern, really. England knocking on the door, but Switzerland holding firm. And 7 minutes after the restart, England hit the woodwork again. A cross from Danny Rose from the left. He was aiming for Kane, and it came off the Switzerland defender, and it almost ricocheted. Well, it ricocheted off the post, but it almost went in the net, and it was so unlucky, but a real good chance. And you were thinking, hopefully one of these chances will go in. But about 1 minute after England hit the post, Switzerland were on the attack, and it was Shaqiri who had the shot, and it was going in, but Jordan Pickford with a stunning save. And but I think at this point the game was becoming more stretched, definitely more so than it was in the first half. I was just thinking, like, if only we took our chances early on in the game, and it's a different game then. But the biggest moment of the second half, and the biggest moment of the 90 minutes, really, Raheem Sterling crossed it in from the left after beating a few men. Dele Alli was involved again. He hit the bar with a header after a lovely floated ball in. Then seconds later, Callum Wilson followed it up and actually found the net from the crossbar, and he thought he'd given England the lead, but yeah, it wasn't to be. VAR intervened and claimed that Wilson had fouled Akanji in the build-up to the goal. Probably a slightly harsh decision, but at the same time, you sort of understand where the referee was coming from. But an interesting fact that I found, it was the second disallowed goal in consecutive games for England, and they were both disallowed in the same minute, the 83rd minute, which was crazy, really. I mean, what are the chances of that happening? But yeah, after 90 minutes, it was goalless, and the referee blew for extra time, and that's now back-to-back Nations League games that went to extra time. England still the better of the play, but just couldn't find the net. I must have said that about 4 times now in this episode, but it's just becoming one of those days where it just doesn't go your way. Nothing goes in. I mean, Sterling had a header which was well blocked by the defender. Ali could have scored. And yeah, as extra time went on, there was just still no end product, really. And we kept having chances, but just couldn't score. And Sterling almost won it with the last kick of the game. A free kick that crashed against the crossbar. It was an unbelievable effort, but yeah, so unlucky not to go in. But after 120 minutes, no breakthrough from either team, which meant only one thing, and that was penalties. Of course, the 2018 World Cup shootout win over Colombia was a huge psychological step for the team and for the country. So I was a bit more confident going into this one. And also, with it being a third place playoff, it's a different kind of pressure, a lot less pressure than a World Cup knockout game. But my only worry was Sommer, the Switzerland goalkeeper. I may have said that wrong, but yeah, he had such a great game, denying England loads of good chances. So I was a little bit concerned that he might come out on top. I won't go for every penalty because we'll be here forever. But the 5th round of penalties, Jordan Pickford stepped up to take one, and he absolutely buried it in the corner. Like, no stopping that. And I've had a theory that goalkeepers should take penalties, as he practiced them all day against other goalkeepers. So yeah, that's what I believe. But it was an amazing penalty, and I was surprised he was taking one, given the other players we had on the pitch, but yeah, no stopping that. And he became the first goalkeeper to take and score a penalty for England in a competitive shootout. So, yeah, 5-5 in the shootout. Sudden death. Eric Dyer, who had obviously scored the winner against Colombia a year back, he stepped up and found the net, meaning England had an advantage. Switzerland then had to score to stay in it. Jordan Pickford stood firm, dived the right way, and got a really strong hand to the shot, and it was saved. 6-5 to England, and they had won yet another penalty shootout under Southgate. And one thing I find crazy is in both shootouts, it's been Dyer and Pickford who have saved us. I mean, Eric Dyer is a player who you don't expect to take penalties really, but yeah, him and Pickford have been the heroes once again. Again, what are the chances of that really? Yeah, it's just crazy really. But England had won the shootout 6-5 and secured third place in the Nations League. Not the trophy they wanted, but well, not a trophy at all, is it? But a strong finish nonetheless. I mean, all in all, it wasn't the most thrilling 120 minutes of football. If anything, it was more frustrating from the fact England didn't take the chances, but a great way to finish the season, really, winning another penalty shootout. I think it was great to see how England had evolved, both tactically but also in personnel across the Nations League campaign. They were now playing with the back four, more on the front foot, more getting at teams a bit more, and we had a wider pool of talent to pick from in all positions. So yeah, it's probably a transition year to be honest, but yeah, a really good one. And last thing I'll say is for a third place playoff, I thought the atmosphere was brilliant, especially from the England fans. It sounded like they were loving it in the sun, despite the game being a goalless draw and no goals for 120 minutes. They never stopped singing and making noise, which was brilliant to see. So if anyone's listening to this and you were at that game, you know, you're outstanding. And so were the Switzerland fans, to be fair. But that's the Nations League done. Third place, not bad. My next game, it'll be back to qualification for Euro 2020 as they face Bulgaria at Wembley and hope to build on their good start they had back in March. So that's coming next week, England versus Bulgaria. But until then, thank you for listening. As always, take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.